Today, I'm sharing with you my experiment with going bigger with my art. We're drawing a half mandala on a wall in my house, and we'll see how it goes. Thanks for joining me. I'm Debora Exum, so let's get started. The first thing I had to do was get some circles on the wall, some semicircles to get started, and I used a pencil to draw those. I'll tell you that was my first mistake. I should have used chalk. I had to spend a lot of time doing cleanup and erasing. You can see on the wall there how smudgy all those pencil lines are. And throughout the video, you'll see how I go through and clean up and erase. Probably doing a mandala on the ground was not the best first move for someone who's never done this. I spent a lot of time laying on the ground trying to get just the right position to draw and color in some of those lines that are closer to the floor. But it all worked out in the end. I may have had a sore muscle or two the next day. And the only place where we have these straight lines is here at the center. And I don't enjoy doing ruler work. I like the result of it, but it was a lot of work to get those ruler lines just straight, just so. So for the rest of it, you'll see I'm freehanding, using the guidelines for the semicircle. I'm using a white Posca paint pen for this, and this is also the first time I've ever used a Posca paint pen before, and I wasn't sure how far it would go. So as we go through building the mandala, I try to just stick with the outlines to be sure that I have enough. After I get the basic structure of it all done, then we'll go back and start coloring in and adding line details to each section. I didn't go into this with any plan or pre-drawn idea. I kind of decided layer by layer what would look good, and that's the same way I do any mandalas I draw on smaller paper also. So in between each set of drawing, there's a lot of sitting back and pondering, and usually what I would do is draw a couple of ideas lightly in pencil on the wall and then decide which one I like best and go from there. This is the last layer I'll do before I have to move that camera back. We're almost out of the shot here, but we're making good progress. I'm liking the results so far. And I wasn't the only one making decisions as we went. I would decide what I liked, but I would get feedback from my family. Both my son and husband were in the background helping out as we went. I think I made everybody a little nervous with my idea to draw all over one of our walls in the first place. But in the end, it turned out great, and I'm pleased with it, and we'll probably let it hang out a little while before we repaint. We were planning to repaint this room in the not too distant future anyway. So let's see how we keep going. This room is a bonus room over our garage, and it's where there's a table to the right of this where I do most of my drawing and recording for my videos, so I see this more than anyone else. There's also a TV and a gaming system, so sometimes my kids come and hang out with me depending on what they're doing. And now we're getting to the part where we're starting to fill in. Our pens lasted all the way through, and we're starting to color in some of those details and bring this mandala to life. We still have some details to add to the outer bands of this mandala, but it's starting to get to the point where every time you do something you wonder, is this the last thing I'm going to do? And you sit back and then you find something else that would add sparkle to it, and you just keep going and keep going until finally you're satisfied. would say from start to finish, this took me about 7 hours to complete. I started drawing the circles one evening, did a little bit of the initial drawing of that inner star, and then the next day I spent about 5 to 6 hours finishing it out. It's sort of like once I started, I was really excited about it and didn't want to stop. Would I do it again? Most definitely. I think a lot of the walls in my house might be in danger from this point, but I wanted to share the experience with you and the outcome because I'm really happy with it, and hope it encourages you to not be afraid to go bigger with your art. If it's your first time here, thanks so much for joining me. I put out an art process video of one form or another every Wednesday. Mostly it's drawing and painting. I do a lot of mandalas, some flowers, but really you just never know what kind of trouble I'm going to find. So please subscribe to my channel and join me every week for more art process fun. So I'm Debora Exum. I appreciate you spending time with me today.